Members of the floor, please rise for the national anthem, Negaraku and Putra Gemilang. Thank you. You may now be seated.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Muhammad Azmi Muhammad Lila, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research and Innovation, Universiti Putra Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Bujang bin Kim Huat, Dean School of Graduate Studies, Universiti Putra Malaysia. Respected judges, honorable professors, deans, deputy deans, heads of department, lecturers, and 3MT participants. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, and also our visiting guests from the various secondary schools. Welcome everyone to the UPM 3-Minute Thesis Finale 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third 3MT competition held here in UPM. And as in any competition, everyone is anxious, excited, and impatient to start. So to begin our ceremony, we would like to call upon Ustaz Muhammad Hafiz bin Ghazali to recite the dua.
إلى هذا النبي مصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أوضح لنا سبيل الهدى والرشاد وجعل في اتباعه السلامة من الآفات والمهلكات، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي المبعوث إلينا خير خليفة الله في أرضه وأحسن أسوة لنا نقتدي به، وعلى آله الطاهرين وأصحابه المجاهدين المخلصين من المهتدى بهديهم إلى يوم الدين. O Allah, you are glorified and praised, your name is blessed, your majesty is exalted, and none has the right to be worshipped but you. Indeed, all glory and praise is due to Allah. We glorify and praise Him, and we ask Him for help and forgiveness. In Allah we seek refuge and from the evils in ourselves and from our wrongdoings. O Allah, we thank you for kindness in making possible for us to gather here today for this special occasion, 3 Minutes Thesis 2014 Finale UPM. O Lord, please help us in our pursuit to become a leading center of research, learning and well-established university. Please bring out our effort to discover knowledge and people and new findings in order for us to benefit of our nation, people and religion. O Lord, O Allah, we regard knowledge as a trust of Allah to be utilized in line with His guidance for the benefits of mankind. Please consider our quest for knowledge to be an act of worship by integrating source of reveal for knowledge with social science, humanities, arts, science and technology for the development and nourishment of our intellectual tradition and the advancement of Islam in the nation. Allahumma ya Qahhar, please help us to overcome the problem of the world. Please guide us to sit together to discuss about Muslim needs and crisis, cultural change and economic problem, so that we can look into the crisis from different perspectives and try to solve it. Please help us to regain our intellectual and civilizational superiority. Allahumma ya Mujib, Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Ustaz Muhammad Hafiz.
So ladies and gentlemen, the 3-minute thesis competition is a research communication competition first conceived at the University of Queensland, Australia. And the competition requires the participant to present their thesis in a 3-minute one-slide presentation to an intelligent but non-specialist audience. The preliminary round of today's competition was held on 8th of August, and it attracted 35 graduate students who are at various stages of their PhD programs. And 13 finalists will compete in today's competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Bujang bin Kim Huat, Dean, School of Graduate Studies, University Putra Malaysia, to deliver his welcoming speech.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi, salam satu Malaysia, panjang salutation kepada yang berbahagia. Pakai kacamata dulu baru nampak. Timbalan Chancellor Research dan Inovasi UPM, Profesor Muhammad Azmi Lila, Dekan-Dekan PKP Institute, Timbalan Dekan Sekolah Minute Thesis, para juri yang saya hormati sekalian, peserta dan juga yang turut hadir. Selamat datang kepada pertandingan 3 Minute Thesis final tahun ini. Izinkan saya untuk meneruskan ucapan seterusnya dalam bahasa asing, for the benefit of our students who are probably not very well versed in Bahasa Melayu. So once again, the 3-minute thesis competition has reached the final stage. So congratulations to all the finalists for reaching this final phase. And to those who did not make it, I hope you continue to strive for better next time. So it is my sincere hope to see the finalists doing their best in impressing the judges, juries and audience. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is a vital element that each UPM graduate should possess. So through various program initiatives, School of Graduate Studies, or in short SGS, and UPM as a whole has been striving to inculcate our students with this particular value. So bear in mind, dear students, that this value has never been more important than now in this fast-paced and competitive modern world. So the 3MT competition is a great medium for UPM graduate students to enhance the leadership qualities, and I believe it will help to solidify them to become more holistic, if not perfect leaders in their respective future endeavors. So I would like to extend my utmost gratitude to the advisor, juries, faculties, institute, in fact to the lecturers too, participants for their passionate involvement and contribution. Last but not least, I would like to especially thank the Secretariat of Putra Sarjana, which is our learning support group, led by Professor Noraini, for making this 3MT this year possible. In fact, I think this is the second year or the third year that we are running the 3MT. It is my hope that the success story of Siti Aima Shara Zainal Abidin, who won the first national level 3MT competition earlier this year in the category of science, and also our last year champion, Miss Izni Jahidi, will be the continued and repeated for many years to come, and most students will write the success stories in the various fields and competition. I'm also happy to note that we'll be sending our first competitor to Perth for the first time from Malaysia this year. So, to the finalists, good luck and may the best 3MT win for you all. And also, I can also make sure that if you make it for this year, God willing, inshallah, we will send you to probably somewhere. If Malaysia win this year 3MT, it's my understanding that we will become the next host. Although the chance may not be very high, but you never know. So that's the rule. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Bujang.
So ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to call upon Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. Muhammad Azmi Muhammad Lila, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation UPM, to deliver his speech and to officiate the 3-minute thesis competition 2014.
Thank you to Masters of Ceremony. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Bujang Kimpuat, the Dean, School of Graduate Studies, University of Malaysia, Deans and Directors of Faculties and Institutes, Seniors Officers of UPM, the distinguished juries, devoted participants from various faculties, institutes, ladies and gentlemen, and also to our young 3MT contestant in the future from the schools out there. So why not give them a big round of applause? I'm here, I remember this is actually third MT competition, the third one. The first one, I don't know about it. The second one, somehow I became a trainer. That was last year when I was still at the faculty, back students. So some of them already here, they come here another round somehow. And the third one, I'm here to share my opinions about 3MT. So 3MT to me is actually a splendid platform actually to everybody that doing good research and to share the research to the public. So without that, you cannot prove that you are better than average people. So 3MT to me, if you like to deliver a speech with the hard work that you've done for 3 years, 4 years, PhDs or PhDs, okay? Within 3 minutes, I don't think I can do it. Even though I was a trainer, try to train these people for 5 weeks, together with other people, I still cannot do it. Even maybe Prof. Bujang would like to remind me, you can speak, you can choose to speak within 3 minutes here, or maybe you can take as many 3 minutes as possible. Am I right? Okay. So 3-minute thesis to me, just to share with you, is something really great different. It's actually to the people that have a great mind to move forward outside of the box. If you would like to be great, you must have great minds, you must have the great steps, you must do lots of things great. So be in 3-minute thesis program, and to be the contestant, to go through the training, it's not an easy job. I remember I used to be with, let's say, 8 or 10 people, PhD students in faculty last year. So I spent time together with them for 5 weeks, try to train them. Many of them, beginning from, cannot even speak. I'm not talking about speak in Malay language, but speak in English language. But within 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then we go through HIP. And then after that, final faculty level, and I find out they can do it. So you all can do it. If you all, let's say, from what we call this, from non-English speaking background, can do it. Those people that with English speaking background, especially from young people out here, you see, from the school, they can do it better than that. So we hope that we would like to see future contestants from these parts of the, what we call these schools. Just to share with everybody, you see, UPM is inspired to be better and better. So we would like to be top 200 universities in the world. So there are many things that we have to do. You see, we must do good research, we must recruit best people, best minds, you know. Without that, we cannot get the best out of this. So that, you know, I believe that with this 3MT will push people to work harder to come out, let's say, with the best result, maybe within a short period of time. And then with your presence here, that is actually one of the potential proof. I don't want to talk further about what you should do. You know what you're doing. And then I would like to congratulate Siti Aimi Sarah. Let's give her a big round of applause. As the winner of the first 3MT in Malaysia. So nobody can take away from you, you know, as the first one, as the winner of the first 3MT in Malaysia. So nobody can take away from you. And then I would like to wish her very well, try your best, to do your best, to get the best, you know, in Perth, you know, sometime this year, November this year. And next, I would like to thank you for the panel juries here. I met, maybe I know 2 of them, you know. So, but I met Chef Joe. We're talking about try to, what we call this, establish new program. Maybe we can talk about 3MT for cooking as well sometime in the future, cooking technology. But I would like to thank you to all the panel juries. Without you all doing a good job, I don't think we're going to get the best winners today. So let's give them a big round of applause for the panel. Then also to the panel, what we call these committees that are working hard, you know, maybe last year, I was in the committee, I was an advisor, but I never been asked to advise the committee. Until today, maybe it's remote control right now, maybe you use a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, does not matter. But anyway, they have done a good job, congratulations to them. With that, and to all participants, you know, I hope you all will enjoy the potential great session today. I hope that you learn lots of things from what we call this list of the panel participants. So with that, with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I'm very happy to appreciate Unisi Putra Malaysia 3-minute thesis final competition 2014. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Muhammad Azmi.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as they say, let the games begin. As in our case, it's let the competition begin. But before that, here's a quick explanation of how the competition will be conducted. At the sound of a bell, at the beginning of the competition, that will denote that the contestant should begin the presentation. A countdown timer, which is visible to the contestant, will indicate the amount of time the presenter has. And at the end of the 3 minutes, there will be another bell to indicate that the presenter must end the presentation.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us a great pleasure to call upon our first 3 empty contestants. And please welcome Kavita Muralidharan, Newcastle Disease Virus, the Magic Bullet.
In the fight against cancer, the search for the perfect weapon remains the focus of medical research. So, how does a virus fit into the scenario? Now, if you join me imagining a situation where a cancer patient is injected with a virus, and what if I tell you that this virus is able to target and kill only cancer cells, leaving your normal cells healthy? Sounds impossible? Well, that is the first application of Newcastle disease virus, a poultry virus which has been proven to only target and kill cancer cells specifically. Now, the second application of this virus is as an animal vaccine, where it protects chicken, for instance, against various other diseases, such as influenza virus. And the third application of this Newcastle virus is as a gene delivery system, where as a vehicle, as a tool to deliver gene into the human body to specifically treat diseases. Now, knowing the potential of this virus, I decided to focus my research on a Malaysian Newcastle disease strain, where I would like to determine if this Malaysian strain is indeed as effective for these 3 applications. And in order to achieve that, I have to first understand the manipulative nature of the virus, such as what determines or what enables the virus to be cancer specific. After that, the second part of my research is to repackage the virus and to reproduce the virus in a way that it is able to be used for either cancer, or second repackaging as an animal vaccine, and third repackaging for gene delivery system. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in World War Z, Brad Pitt injected himself with a virus to survive the zombie apocalypse and to save the world, sounding very similar to my research proposal. But the only difference is that this is reality. Human trial is currently taking place in US, Germany, and in Canada, where cancer patients are being injected with Newcastle virus to test the efficiency of the virus against cancer. But what the whole paradigm shift of using viruses against for human against diseases may sound impossible to many. But what we need to know, the fundamental point is that we have reached a level where we have to start using most probably the greatest enemy of mankind to use it for our own benefit. And I strongly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Newcastle disease virus is the magic bullet that we need. I may be no Brad Pitt, but I do want to save the world as well. Thank you.
A bullet that heals but not killed. Now for our second contestant, Lai Kuan Liang, mesenchymal stem cells, a double-edged sword.
Life, it all begins from one single cell, the stem cell. They are the starter cells, the foundation for every tissues and organs in our body. One of the most prominent stem cells is the mesenchymal stem cell, or MSCs in short. Being one of the most widely studied stem cells, they have various unique properties. Firstly, they are able to self-renew, producing the exact copies of themselves. They are also capable of undergoing differentiation process into various specialized cells, such as bones, cartilage, and fat cells. However, one of the more interesting properties of MSCs is their ability to suppress our immune system. Wow! Why do we want to suppress our immune system, you might ask? Well, try thinking along the lines of autoimmune diseases, and transplantation rejection. This is when doctors would want to suppress our immune system. To think about it, how many lives can be saved if, and only if, MSCs are made available for such treatments? The potential is huge, but there's always a catch. MSCs, they are like a double-edged sword. Swing right, and you'll get all the therapeutic benefits. But swing left, you might just hit the wrong button. MSCs have been shown to undergo spontaneous transformation into sarcoma cells, which is a type of cancer. This is surely a big no if we are to use MSCs for any therapeutic purposes. So the question is, how do we find or how do we solve this problem? As the saying goes, find the root to the problem, then you will find the cure for it. Therefore, for my project, I'll be looking into the genes that are involved in this spontaneous transformation, find out who are the culprits behind this, and work hand in hand with the research community to find a solution for this problem. Until then, MSCs will remain as a double-edged sword. So watch out which way you are swinging them. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Lai Kwan Liang. So now I would like to call upon our technical tester. Please welcome Mr. Louis K. Hall with the entitled Gold Standard, the Premium Saliva.
Beauty is something everyone craving for, be it men or women. It is to the extent where Queen Elizabeth I is said to use the blood of her servant to beautify her skin. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the year 2014. I strongly doubt that anyone will purchase a cosmetic product with the slogan, 100% human blood. Therefore, I am here today to introduce something new. Instead of using blood, we are using saliva, but not any ordinary saliva. The saliva of the amazing bird, the swiftlet species. Swiftlet produce edible bird nests during their breeding season with their own saliva. And these edible bird nests are scientifically proved to aid in skin growth. The remaining question will be, are all edible bird nests the same? Or is there the most valuable premium grade edible bird nest that we should use for our own benefit? Because nowadays, there are so many different kinds of edible bird nests in the market. Some of them are white in color, some of them are black in color. Some of them are from the natural cave, some of them are from the man-made houses, and some of them are even fake. So is there any standard to prove which is the best edible bird nest compared to the others? Sadly, the answer is no. And here is where I feel it's my responsibility to answer this million-dollar question. Through the biomarker identification project, which I am currently working on, where I will first capture various swiftlet species from different habitats. And then I will extract the genetic material from the salivary gland, which is the organ that swiftlet produce their saliva, and saliva make edible bird nests. So what am I going to do with this genetic material? Two aspects. The first, I will study what are the different protein composition in different edible bird nests. And the second, I will study the amount of this specific protein. So, by establishing these two parameters, we are actually able to generate the gold standard. Gold standard to prove that which is the best edible bird nest that we should use. As I always say, the saliva of a bird is the treasure for human. And we deserve the best treasure. And in my case, we all deserve the best saliva. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, bone defect or bone injuries can be happen to anybody, anytime, and anywhere, due to accident cases, fall down from the staircase, genetic disease symptoms, or the worst scenario is a bone cancer. All these problems keep a challenge and limitation to the orthopedic To overcome the issue, there are three approaches are being practiced currently, which is autologous, allograft, and xenograft. Autologous, whereby we harvest from the safe side of the patient and implant it to the defect site. However, we are creating a double injuries and sometimes delaying in healing process. The second approach, which is allograft, whereby we harvest from the other individual, serve as a donor. However, due to a foreign substance, a patient body may refuse, may reject, or delaying in healing, and also cause a viral transmission. The third approach, which is xenograft, normally we harvest from the animal source, but due to unknown and doubtful source of animal, patient may refuse to use it when it touch a religion and practicing issue. Here we come with a new development. We introduce a nano biocomposite bone scaffold comprises calcium carbonate, collagen type 1, and anti-tumor drug. Calcium carbonate we harvest from the cocker shell, which is a cheap protein widely abundant in Malaysia. Normally when we take out the cocker, we just leave the shell to absorb or resolve by the nature. And collagen type 1 we harvest from bovine Achilles tendon, whereby the cow is slaughtered in halal way. And anti-tumor drug, which is doxorubicin, is widely used as an anti-tumor or drug or cancer treatment. How it works? We are combine these three main items using electrospinning method, and with this method we are able to produce a nano composite, whereby this nano serve as a drug carrier and provide a good surface and large surface for cell proliferation and attachment. How it works? When there is a bone cancer, we take out the affected bone and when we implant to the gap. With this, we introduce the protein and material needed by the bone is to give signal and accelerate the bone healing. And if there is still a remaining tumor cell, the doxorubicin will inhibit or kill the remaining cell. With the tagline, living to the fullest, we hope that we give a better choice for the doctor, for the orthopedic surgeon to overcome the issue, give hope to the patient, and they are not suffering anymore for bone cancer. With that also, we are creating a better tomorrow, and the bone cancer problem will be solved. With that, I thank you.
Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, the danger that lurks around us. Did you know? Well, PHS is one of the most important classes of pollutants which contains 2 or more benzene rings. They have natural sources including forest fires and volcanoes, and anthropogenic sources including car exhaust emissions, industrial discharges, and oil spills. PHS are persistent, lipophilic, toxic, and bioaccumulative. They are featured by mutagenic, teratogenic, and hepatotoxic effects. And above all, they can cause cancer. Let me tell you a story. It can help to understand the behavior of PHS in the environment. Imagine you start your car to take out your family to a nice restaurant to eat a nice meal. When you arrive there, you have a look at the menu, you see lala, the seafood that Malaysians eat. You say, wow, it's lala, my favorite food. I like it. You order and enjoy eating that special delicacy. But while you are eating that delicious food, you should think about the time that you started your car, because the combustion of petrol in the engine of your car produces pHs, and those pHs, among the pHs from the other sources, are released into the environment and transported to the marine ecosystem, the place that lala comes from. The pHs will be accumulated in lala and come back to your plate as your favorite food. You eat that delicious food, and the pHs will be accumulated in your body. That's why we have to monitor pHs in the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, honestly, if we don't monitor pHs in the environment, we may give the worst gift to the next generation, and that will be the environment with high concentration of pHs, which cause cancer. I don't know, while I'm talking here, how much pHs is released into the environment, and how much is accumulated in the Lala. And this case is not closed, and it won't be closed if we don't monitor pHs. Thank you very much.
Did you know that more people are overweight today than ever before? We call this as an obesity epidemic. It is known to be a risk factor for chronic diseases, namely diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, and heart disease. Currently, more than 4 million Malaysians are overweight, and Malaysia is ranked first in Southeast Asia for obesity. Scary, isn't it? Over changes in lifestyle behavior is the main factor to treat obesity, and anti-obesity drug application can be an option for properly selected patients. One of the strategies is by reducing fat absorption in the intestine. Scientifically, the drug is called as lipase inhibitor. How it works? Normally, the fats that we eat will be digested by this special enzyme called lipase. The fats will be absorbed by our body and used up as energy. However, in the presence of lipase inhibitor, fat digestion will be stopped. Lipase inhibitor stops our body from taking in certain percentages of fat. This causes the undigested fat to be discharged from our body instead. The most effective lipase inhibitor in the market right now is orlistat. However, orlistat is a synthetic drug with side effects. So, there is a need to find for alternative lipase inhibitor from natural resources. In my PhD study, 24 plants were screened for their lipase inhibitory activity. I found that Misai Kuching showed the most promising result. The question is, what is it in this plant that blocks lipase function? The searching process is like finding a needle in a haystack. Isolation of the potential substance was done using several techniques and equipment. Starting from the leaf sample, which contained millions of different substances in it, I narrowed it down until I got one pure substance. That special substance is rosmarinic acid. In the last stage of my PhD study, protein crystallography will be conducted to understand how the inhibitor and lipase interact. When inhibitor interacts with lipase, it actually binds to the lipase. Which part of lipase does it bind, and why at that position? That question is yet to be answered. We are now a step closer in producing a cheaper, safer, and effective anti-obesity drugs. So no matter what you eat, don't worry about gaining weight anymore. Just say hello to lipase inhibitor and bye-bye obesity. Thank you.
Have you ever heard about edible bird nest or sarang burung walet? I believe the slogan like nutritious, walet goals, healthy, young is not something new for us anymore. Trust me, my today agenda is not to promote this edible bird nest. However, my aim today is to share valuable information about edible bird nest. Edible bird nest is one of the most expensive ingredients in the world. The price can reach to 8,000 ringgit per kilogram. As a consequence, it's always exposed to the authenticity problem. Did you know pig genetic is one of the common adulterant that the edible bird nest? For this reason, I conducted a is the key. The bands of log will be used as a probe in order to detect the pig gelatin in the edible bird nest. This immunoassay was performed using a microplate, and the measurement was read by a microplate reader. However, how about if there is no expertise to handle this immunoassay? This immunoassay has a potential to transform into a task strip. Task strip is a simple tool with an easy-to-follow step. The application is similar with the pregnancy task strip. You just need to dip the task strip into the sample solution and wait for the color band to appear. This technology will be helpful to assist the enforcement authority in order to monitor the purity of the edible bird nest in the market. So we, the consumer, will be not deceived anymore, and we can happily enjoy our edible bird nest. Thank you.
Let me introduce you to our respected and honorable judges for today. We have with us Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Amru Nasrul Haq Boys, Dean of the Science Research Cluster, University Malaya, Kuala Lumpur. Professor Dr. Amru will be the head judge or jury for today. Professor Dr. Amru graduated from the University of Malaya in 1975, served as the head of Institute of Biological Sciences for about 5 years, and later appointed as Dean of the Faculty of Sciences, and currently serving as Dean of the Frontier Sciences Research Cluster in University of Malaya.
So with us today we have our distinguished Yang Berbahagia Datin Sharina Datuk Syaukat. As a fellow and head of Center for Ocean Law and Policy, Maritime Institute, Malaysia. As a bit about the profile, Datin Sharina obtained her Masters in Maritime Law Policy from the University of Wales, Cardiff Bar at Law from Gray's Inn, London, LLB Honours from the University College of London, and A-levels of Oxford Board in the Buckland University College, Farringdon, Oxford. And now she serves as the head of Centre Ocean Law and Policy from 2012. In between that, she had served as a legal counsel for Global Marine and Offshore Services, legal advisor for Chan and Chan Petroleum Singapore, and legal manager for Port of Tanjung Pelepas in Johor. And she specialized in the legal advisory and drafting of shipping port, FPSO offshore oil and gas, and other marine-related agreements and bid documents.
We also have with us Ms. Nabila Abdul Rubin, Financial Reporting Manager of ExxonMobil Malaysia. Ms. Nabila has vast experience in working in many countries, mainly Malaysia, Qatar, Houston, Texas, and also Dubai. Right, so we are indeed honored to have you with us today, Ms. Nabila.
So we also have our celebrity chef today, which is Chef Johari Edrus, or Chef Cho, who is the principal consultant of Chef Cho Culinary Consultant. Chef Johari Edrus was the president of the Chef Association of Malaysia from 2005 to 2008. Currently, he is the president of Malay Culinary Society of Malaysia. And in September 2011, he was named the national expert for cooking skills in the World Skills Competition, Skill Olympics, representing Malaysia in London. And his academic qualifications include a diploma in chef training from UiTM and various others such as Ahma US and Cornell University USA. And he was also the juror and host for the MasterChef Malaysia and MasterChef Malaysia Celebrity on Astro TV.
And we also have with us Ms. Rosnah Abdullah, Marketing and Business Development Manager for Philippines Premium Goods Sdn Bhd. Ms. Rosnah was with AIA Assurance and then to Sirbos Malaysia Sdn Bhd as Senior Brand Manager for Lee Kum Kee, and currently Ms. Rosnah is at Harrods as the Marketing and Business Development Manager for Tradewinds Premium Goods Sdn Bhd. Ms. Rosna specializes not only in the marketing of retail products but also food and beverages. Thank you, Ms. Rosna.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please give applause to our all respected judges for today. And we believe without their commitments and wise decision, we would not get the winners for today's competition. Again, thank you to all respected and honorable judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'd like to call upon our 8th contestant, Yusuf Abba, Saving Snakes from Extinction.
Can you imagine a world without snakes? These legless creatures that crawl on their belly, which we keep in the zoo or aquariums to go and view during our leisure times, are actually more important in the ecosystem. For example, they serve a very important purpose of controlling the menace of rodents such as rats, which are known to cause devastation both in terms of agricultural as well as transmission of viral diseases which affect humans. So, what are these precious species in our ecosystem? Why do we underestimate their capacity? Rats have been known to cause damages in agricultural production in Malaysia up to about 1,000 ringgit per hectare of cultivated land. Recently in Indonesia, it was reported that 17% of rice production is lost due to rat infestation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is enough to feed 20 million Indonesians. Unfortunately, these precious species are suffering. For the past 4 decades, they have been ravaged by a viral disease known as inclusion body disease. This disease has been wiping them off the ecosystem gradually with time. And up till this moment, nothing has been done to address this problem. In my research, we are looking at this precious species, the snakes, and we are trying to come up with a remedy to solve this mystery of inclusion body disease. So basically, what are we doing? We are looking at 2 very important compounds that are very commonly available in our vegetables and our fruits, vitamin C and resveratrol. These are known as antioxidant compounds commonly to us, but they have very good antiviral properties as well. So we are reacting these 2 compounds with cells and laboratory model, that's the mice, to see how these compounds interact with the virus. Our findings are amazing. We found out that synergistically these 2 compounds actually reverse the tissue damage that is being caused by the virus. We also found out that in mice, it actually boosts the immune system of the mice. And we all know that if the immune system is being boosted, that means the animal has a better chance of fighting this infection. So ladies and gentlemen, with these 2 compounds, vitamin C and resveratrol, we are very certain that we would save this precious species from undergoing extinction so that we will restore the balance to our ecosystem. Thank you.
Imagine in every year, over millions of animals are transported for a considerable long distance just for fattening and marketing. In 2012, a lorry was reported of carrying calves all the way from the United Kingdom through France to Spain, just fattening and marketing. Malaysia imports thousands of goats from South Africa and Australia. These animals, in silence, they are stressed. In pain, they suffer. In agony, they linger. On heart, they cry. In frustration, they die. Does it mean anything to you? What happens if after passing through this long, stressful journey, these animals become infected with bacterial disease? My research was designed to evaluate the influence of stress on the immune status of the animals and to see how stress influences the development of a disease called brucellosis, a disease that infects both humans and animals, a disease that can cause abortion in both humans and animals, a disease that infected humans wish they are dead while they are still alive. We have found out that if animals are transported, goats specifically, for 3.5 hours, they show
vulnerable to common bacterial diseases in our environment. We have further found out that if after passing through this long, stressful journey, the animals become infected with brucella, they show 3 times clinical signs compared to normal infection. And they discharge the brucella bacteria in our environment 3 times compared to normal infection. And that increases the chances of me and you getting infected with this deadly bacteria. Since animal transportation has become very inevitable in animal husbandry, what do? Fortunately, we have also found out that if the animals are given vitamin C 30 minutes before transportation, it reduces significantly the amount of stress the animals pass through. So next time, when you want to transport your animals, next time when your friend think of transporting his animals, think of the stress the animals are passing through, think of giving them vitamin C.
Imagine, if you or me standing in front of a crowd, giving a speech like I do, will you feel shaky? Well, I am. Imagine, if you were watching a horror movie, someone is yelling at your back, will you feel shaky? I think you will. Now imagine, if you are an epileptic patient, you feel shaky. You know, a worst case scenario is going to happen. As soon, your leg starts stiffening. You fall to the ground. You start jerking back and front. At last, you lost your consciousness. Shakiness for healthy people like us is a sign of anxiety and fear. But for epileptic patients, it is the beginning of their agony. Epilepsy, Sawan, Walipu, or Fa Yang Tiao is a brain disorder in which clusters of brain cells are unable to function properly. The good news is, this disease can be treated with drug medications, while the bad news is, those drugs comes with unwanted side effects. I was particularly interested in pharmaceutical research. I keep asking myself, why there is an occurrence of side effects, and how can we reduce the side effects? In addition, the presence of blood-brain barrier, the biological barrier in our brain which impedes the influx of most of the neurological drugs across the brain. How can we enhance the penetration efficiency of those drugs so that they can cross the barrier, reach the target site, hence reducing the side effects successfully? With lots of reading, nano-emulsion has come to our mind. Nano-emulsion is a fine dispersion of drug-containing oil droplets in the aqueous phase. With the nano-range of drug-containing oil droplets and the brain-targeting components that we use to formulate the nano-emulsion, we hope that this nano-carrier will be able to carry the drug to cross the barrier easily. Stability evaluations and characterizations were carried out in order to ensure its suitability for medical purpose. Moreover, we use human brain cells to cultivate a human brain model. We apply our nano-emulsions into this model and we study the penetration efficiency of our formulation across the brain cell layers. Finally, we inject our formulation into rats. The detections of high concentration of our formulations in the brain of the rats indicates the efficiency of this nanocarrier. I believe with better research and understanding, we will be able to help millions of epileptic patients. One day, they will put their life back on track and this disease will never ever hold them back. Thank you.
Over 100 years ago, Charles Darwin, the famous scientist, realized that it is not the strongest nor the fastest of the species that survive. It is the one that adapts itself best to changes. This research is about a new approach for production of tomato. This new approach, we call it adaptive energy solution, which means to adapt the energy of environment for agricultural production. The objective, simply to make more money by keeping down the energy cost. But the problem is that in spite of all the good potentials of tropical climate, it is very suitable for tomato production. Malaysia has not been successful in this business. Did you know that Malaysia is ranked between 122 active producer countries at 74? And Indonesia, with the same climate condition, ranked 22nd. Iran, that I know, with all the constraints of cold seasons and hot arid regions, ranked 6th in the world. The question is, why Malaysia is not in the top 10 countries? Is it because they are not working hard in this business, or is it because they have not invested enough money? None. It is because of a traditional philosophy that tells us hard work pays off, or you get more if you pay more. But these statements are not always true. In fact, they can be even deceptive. In modern management, it is the correct work that pays off, not just the hard work. And you get more if you pay wise, not just by paying more. So when facing a problem like this that deals with energy consumption and will eventually contribute to the economics of Malaysia, you've got to give it the best of what you got with knowledge, not just the hard work or big money. In this research, we approached the problem with premeditated strategy and we attacked it with solid engineering tactics. I used the strategy of problem shaping, which means to understand the problem and deliver the right amount, right shape, and right size of solution. Just like when you're moving an object that has a cube shape, for example, but then by understanding the situation, you realize that you can turn it into a spherical shape, which not only increases your mobility, but it also saves you on time, material, and energy. In the other words, you're leaving the redundant parts of the problem behind and move on with the correct amount of solution. Based on this strategy, we came up with an adaptive tactic. It's a framework, like a software, that assesses the problem of energy and designs a solution for that. It then implements this solution, monitors it, evaluates it, and simulates it over and over until it arrives at the final and the best decision about the shape and size of the energy package, whether it should be a cube shape, a spherical, or a combination of these. With this design, we proved that it is possible to save up to 65% in energy requirement. But what does this 65% mean? It means paying less for tomato, ketchups, and other tomato products. But more importantly, it means a sustainable production that creates more jobs. It means one step toward a more successful Malaysia. And it means reward. This is the reward of the knowledge that was served to us by University Putra Malaysia.
Water, for most young children, means fun, play, and adventure. But it only takes about this much, around 2 inches or less than 6 centimeters, either in a bathtub, at the beach, or even in a small bucket. Children can drown without a sound. Drowning can be so quick and silent, even there is plenty of helps around. Childhood drowning. Are you watching us? Are you? Are we? Are we watching them close enough to know that in our country, in a year, there is 500 of drowning cases for children under 18 years old, and 300 of them die due to drowning? Are we watching them close enough to know that Kelantan and Terengganu has the highest drowning cases among children? And boys are 4 times more likely to drown compared to girls. In my study, using a mixed method approach, surveys, and also by asking a lot of questions, I would like to find out an overview of the drowning situation among our children in this country and how we can help to prevent it. Let's start with why our kids are drowning. Is it because of their age? Or is it because they can't swim? Or is it because they are, well, boys? Or maybe it is because of us as their parents. What do we really think about drowning in children? Do we know any swim-safe tips? How about our friends who live in Kelantan and Terengganu? Do they know what to do if their kids are drowning? Do they know that their kids always playing around unattended well and open ditches after school? With all these questions, I would like all of us to know the answer. From the answer, we might consider to learn more on the water safety tips before we bring our kids to beach, to pool, or whenever they are around water. And maybe our friends who live in Terengganu might consider to learn a CPR, or perhaps sending their kids to a swimming. And maybe our friends who live in Kelantan might consider to put some barrier or fencing around unattended well and open ditches. All of this will prevent our kids from drowning. Let's watch them and keep them safe. Thank you.
Let me begin with some questions. Did you ever realize that our weather has become very unpredictable nowadays? Do you ever feel that the air is getting hotter and hotter recently? Do you agree that our climate is changing? Well, some people do. How does it happen? It is because we use cars frequently. It is because we convert forests into industry. It is because we use too much fossil fuel energy. All of them produce carbon dioxide, which could cause the global warming. How to deal with this problem? Simple words: plant more trees and use green energy. My research investigates the significance of rubber tree to be included in the global warming reduction and green energy strategy. How? We're measuring the capability of rubber tree to store the carbon element inside the tree and to produce bioenergy, or we call biomass, from it. Why rubber? Because here in Malaysia, rubber has become the second main cash crop after oil palm. But it's better in terms of environmental friendly or eco-friendly. Rubber plantation cover a huge area. So it is a challenging task for us to study all of them. So I use the technology of remote sensing. Therefore, I just sit in my lab, search some satellite image from the satellite database, process the image, and voila, I have my result. The remote sensing technology works with the electromagnetic wave. So imagine a satellite can take a photo of the Earth's surface, but in the form of wave. And with some satellite image processing softwares, I can process the image and the wave, and I can get some useful information such as tree age, tree height, healthiness, and water content. Now, with the initial result, I have managed to map the distribution of rubber tree and to describe them by their age. I hope this research can contribute to address our climate and energy problem so that we can have a safer and healthier environment in the future. So, let the fight begin.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're now taking a short break to give time to our honorable judges to calculate the marks. I'm sure it will be quite a difficult task for them, judging from all the presentations. And while waiting, let us be entertained with our very own violinist. We present to you Dr. Joanne Yeo from the Faculty of Human Ecology, University Putra, Malaysia. performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Loh is a lecturer at the Music Department of the Faculty of Human Ecology, and I'm sure that rendition was not enough, right? So if you want to listen more, do get her CDs, which are sold outside. And the titles of the CDs are Pulse of the Metropolis and After a Dream. They cost 50 ringgit each. Yeah, do get them, because they may be sold out within a month or so, or before that event, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're still waiting for the results, and we shall go on with the next item on the program.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we proceed our program. So, let us watch our national champion in 3MT, Siti Aimi Sarah Zainal Abidin in action.
Is it truly halal? Would there be any pork in the food? I believe most of you have experienced the same thing as well. You know, it could have been added in order to increase profit. Well, it's business, but then it is so difficult for consumers like us to identify pork adulteration with the naked eye. Not even pork mixing chicken, but sometimes even horse will mix in beef. The issue has been alarming us for quite some time, with several local and international cases being reported in the mass media. Therefore, I feel like it is my obligation as a scientist to protect consumers from being deceived by irresponsible producers. This is where my expertise comes in handy, which I'm very interested in halal CSI. My research focuses on detecting pork in meat and meat products. In other words, I am a meat detective. If you watch the popular CSI TV series, the detective will run DNA analysis in order to find the suspect. They will collect the evidence, add some chemicals, put the machine, and the result will be displayed on the computer screen. The same concept is applied in my research, but the interesting part is we do not deal with DNA like Cadbury case. Instead, protein is analyzed. This protein biomarker will act like a magnet to attract out pig protein from a very complex mixture of meat. And of course, with the help of biotechnology, it works exactly like a thumbprint machine where it can recognize different patterns and sequences of meat proteins from different animals. Thus, pork can be detected easily. So what's next? After we establish the pork biomarker, I'm now working on horse, beef, and some species in order to achieve a wide range of species detection, and also to clear out vegetarian, Jews, and Hindus cases. All these biomarkers are specially designed to assist government bodies such as DAKIM and the Department of Chemistry Malaysia in solving meat adulteration cases. So next time, when suspicious meatballs, nuggets, burgers, or any meat samples are received, we just extract out the protein, put them in the machine, and the result will be popped out on the screen. Case closed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention to the VT just now. And now is a quiz time. So for that, we would like to invite our guest of honor, Prof. Bujang, to come over to the stage for the prize giving to the winner of the quiz. Please welcome.
Now, the quiz is open only to the students from Sekolah Menengah Sains Banting and also Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Seri Serdang. Okay, the first question. Now, when you answer the question, would you please also introduce yourself, right, and from which school you are? In how many minutes must the contestants of the 3MT competition complete their presentation? Okay.
Alright, maybe we have already
Nusa from SMK Sri Sedang.
And the answer is?
Between 3 minutes. Oh, sorry. In 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay, congratulations. Perhaps I should get Prof. Bujang's nod first, whether the answer is right or not. The second question, yeah? Ready? Which university pioneered the 3MT competition? Okay.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Adam Hafiz bin Ismail from Sekolah Menengah Sains Banding. The answer is University of Queensland.
Looks like we have future postgrad students here. The third question, it's good that I do not have to repeat the questions. How many contestants are there in this 3MT competition? Oh. Okay, Dr. Aida says there. Oh, the one in purple? Okay, never mind, ladies first then. Okay? You can share whatever the gift is.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Halil Azifah binti Syajidan. I'm from Sains Bating. The contestant for today is 13.
Alright. Okay. Question 4. Please name, now you have to give the name in full and also from where the person is. Please name one of the judges who is involved in this 3MT competition. CTPS, Aida.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Nakib bin Alias from SMS Banting. First of all, I'm going to ask back, what was the question? The name and...
Okay, do we accept this? Okay, it says okay, since you're brave enough to be up here. Please name one of the judges who is involved in this 3MT competition.
Okay, one of the names is Prof. Dato' Dr. Amru Nasrohat Boys.
And his position?
He is the Dean of the Frontier Science Research Institute.
That is called making full use of what you have. Which unit organized this 3MT program? This is the killer question, is it? Poor Prof. Bujang sitting here and standing here, doesn't know where he's from.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you. Okay, the answer is School of Graduate Studies.
Okay, and you are?
And my name is Nurul Lena. Sorry.
Oh, wrong answer. Oh, okay. Dr. Norita. Unit.
Putra Saujana.
Then you should share the gift with Prof. Yeah? Okay, the question 6. Oh, okay. But this one is just for fun. There'll be no... thank you, Prof. Puja. There'll be no for this, but just for fun. So just now you watched this video. Who is the student student who represented UPM in the international competition in Australia? Oh, no answer because there's no prize. It was Miss Siti Aini, yeah? And who is our guest of honor for today? The debonair, handsome young person in front here is Professor Dr. Azmi Lila. Yeah? Okay, so we're still waiting for the results. So while waiting, you can get to know each other. You know, I know you are separated. Science Banting is on this side, and Sekolah Menengah Seri Sedang is on the other side. So perhaps we can go and socialize a bit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're still waiting the result for the competition. And for the meantime, I just want to ask about our guests from the school, from the Banting and Sri Sedang. Maybe one of you can be on stage and share your experience of today's event. Can I have one representative from the SMK Science Banting? And how about the SMK Sri Sedang? Yes, we got a representative from the SMK Banting. And can you please share what's your experience with the event for today?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, it's me again. I stand here to share my experience and what I have gained from this program. Well, for me, this program is a very exciting one because it teaches us how we are supposed to present a lot of information, a lot of knowledge on what we have studied in such a short space of time. So it teaches us the skill of public speaking, which we all know is very crucial in our role as students and in our role as the leaders of the future. So I think it's a very practical and applicable skill that all students need, and therefore I, as the representative for my school, we all think that this program is something that we should try to emulate in our school and become a benchmark to see just how good our English is and whether we have the courage and confidence to stand in front and talk about what we know and share it with others. That is my experience.
Thank you very much. So let us invite the representative from the SMK Sri Sedang. So Harvard DC, please come.
A very good morning to everyone. My name is Pang Win Ho from SMK Sri Sedang. So, my experience here is I feel very honored to be here because looking at the 13 contestants speaking out their thesis, well, I feel very excited. Then, the one from the SMK Science Banting, the one who speak out all speak up mine. So I feel I should. I think I'm supposed to be the first one to be here, so because I have a lot more to say, but then still I feel very honorable to be here, and thank you very much for these opportunities. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, SMK Sri Sedang and SMK Science Banting. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now are still waiting for the result for the competition today. And hopefully, our contestant for today can give such as an input to our guests from the SMK Sri Sedang and as well as SMK Science Banting. SM Science Banting, sorry.
We're still waiting for the results and they're still debating. So perhaps contestants, you can come and to the front again to share your feelings and and share it with these students here.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be more than 3 minutes.
This time.
Okay, a very good morning. I'm Daniel Louis, just now and also a representative for the contestant this year. Agree? Okay. From my point of view, it's really not an easy task to take part in the 3-minute thesis. I myself was forced to enter the 3-minute thesis because when we come to think of it, how do we present something so specific, so scientific in our personal field to someone so intellect, but yet is not a specialist? So we have to think of different words, what to say, how to present it, what picture should we use, and the most important thing, to complete our task in 3 minutes. Me myself practice thousands and thousands of times, I think, since the first institute hit until the final of UPM. But yet I make mistake. Yet I have some trouble speaking in front of all the audience. But the most important thing is not about winning, although the cash are very attractive. The most important things are the experience. Once we have this experience, I believe for our future study or for us presenting in our Viva, we have that extra confidence boost. And I believe this confidence boost is not only for us, for the student and also for the other postgrad student, even master or PhD. So I believe this activity should be continued and hope that it will benefit all of us. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Oladeko Kazim Kolapo. I think my experience today, maybe I should trace it back to when I assumed as a postgraduate student here. Good enough, my own supervisor happened to be the one in charge of this 3MT program, Professor Nuraini Habshuko. So when I came, it was a bit challenging. I'm just coming in fresh as a new student. Unfortunately enough for me, I came rather late because of this VDR issue. So my first task was to issue drag me, which I really enjoyed, to come into the 3MT program. That was in May. One thing that crossed my mind with some of these presenters today have come to pose a sort of challenge is that how come you present your work now that the graduate school is changing formats. Even at that, you have about 200 pages at least. Before the new formats won't go as much as 340, 400 pages, and you are now asked to summarize such voluminous work within 3 minutes. More so, to those you assume do not know much about the work you've done, it is very, very challenging. But I want to say that it is something that we need to imbibe. Probably, like someone suggested, maybe for the graduate student, it should be made a sort of compulsory to be involved. Of course, it might not be graded, but don't give us that task. The truth is this: if you can come up within 3 minutes to summarize what you've done, I can assure all our presenters, just like the one that went, that their Bible is settled, so to speak, because they must have imbibed that confidence, and the subject matter must have been in their head. Just like someone was asked when they had the last national competition in UTM, how was he able to come about with that feat? And our own Ivy too. She said it was preparation, preparation, and preparation. So, as future leaders, we cannot but make use of those three things to do the same thing. We have to prepare, we have to prepare, and we have to prepare. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our national champion, Siti Aini Sarah Zainal Abidin.
Actually, I'm not going to represent. To repeat back what you have watched in the video. You might be quite bored to watch that. So actually, okay, I will tell you the story of my journey in this TMT. Actually, I started in Institute Halal. I won the first place during the Institute Harvard Research Institute. I won the first place and I went to HEAT UPMP and go to finals. Okay, sorry, this is very spontaneous, so I'm quite nervous. Okay, because 3MT is very well composed. I have my text, I practice every day, and this sharing session is very spontaneous. Sorry. So during the final in UPM, it's a very tight competition. So I won the 3rd place. And in May 2014, UTM organized a national training thesis program. At that competition, they actually divide into 3 categories: engineering, science and technology, as well as social science. I am the winner for science and technology. Unfortunately, Sister Izni didn't manage to win the engineering category. So after I won the national competition, okay, before that, I won the national competition is not definitely all my effort. It is effort from all, from my fellow lab mates, from my supervisor, as well as the SGS, which I would name Prof. Noraini, the Deputy Dean, and G. Anwar, Prof. Bujang, and Prof. Norita. Prof. Fauzi was the one who judged in the heats, and all Dr. Tan Bee Hoon, Prof. Margaret Kylie, all of them really trained me. They push me to, okay, you have to change your title. Okay, your text is not clear. Okay, I didn't understand. If you find the word meat detective, this is not my word actually. This is their words. I mean, their ideas. If you watch the UPM, my presentation during UPM's final, it was actually quite boring because I used words proteomics, blah blah blah, so very scientific. So these coaches, they change the words because they are from, they are non-specialists, because I'm the one who very short sendiri with my research. Well, I know this is proteomics. How can I change the term? So you have to change it. In other way, you have to change it. So I think of CSI movie. That's how we do actually. I mean, exactly in the lab, what I did is collect the sample. I went to pick up a tour, collect the meat, pork meat, and do everything, add some chemicals, everything. But it's not like 3 minutes work. This is 3 years work actually. So I simplified in 3 minutes presentation. So I think that's quite successful. Okay. So after the national level, I will represent UPM for the Trans-Tasman 3-minute thesis. There will be 40, if I'm not mistaken, for 43 university, not country, 43 university, 3 from Malaysia, 1 from Singapore. From Malaysia, we have UPM, as well as UNIMED or UMP, I'm not sure. UMP, okay, sorry, UMP. So we will compete in Trans-Tasman's 3MT competition, in which I think it's a very tough platform for me, because they are English speakers, and while I'm a Javanese mixed Malay or whatever. So I'm very sure after this the SGS unit will really train my pronunciation, tongue, everything to really sound like an Australian. Yeah. So how is that? Right? So maybe, I hope. Okay, so please pray for me. Please give big round of applause to the SDS, the UPM, to So that's all my sharing session. Thank you.
We now have the result for the 3MT competition for today. So the first prize winner on 3MT 2014 will receive RM 3000 and a certificate. And the second prize winner will receive RM 2000 and a certificate. And the winner coming in the third will receive RM 1000 and a certificate. And all contestants in today's final competition and those who compete in the preliminary round will each receive a certificate of participation. So before that, it gives us a great pleasure to invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Amrul Nasrul Haq Boys, a Dean of Frontier Science Research Cluster, University Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, as the head of jury for 3MT competition to say a few words about the competition. Let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Professor Muhammad Azmi, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, UPM, Professor Bujang, Dean of Postgraduate Studies, Professor Noraini, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. We have almost come to the point where you would like, you have all been waiting for to know the winners. I'm not going to tell you who's won, but I've been asked to sum up the presentation, your presentations. First of all, on behalf of the judges, I'm talking on behalf of the judges, I think we all felt, and I'm sure all of you will agree, that the presentation that all our colleagues here on my right have done has been absolutely phenomenal, actually. Well done. I don't know whether phenomenal, remarkable, exceptional, extraordinary, outstanding, but you can choose any word that you like. So congratulations to all of you. I know it's very difficult as a supervisor of postgraduate students myself, that to put 2-3 years of work into 3 minutes and 1 slide. I don't know how you did it, but you have done very, very well, actually. And I think you all have been a very good ambassador to the research that's being done in UPM. As Professor Muhammad Azmi mentioned just now, one of the plus points of this 3MT competition is to showcase the research done at the university. So congratulations once again. Now, my esteemed judges and myself, we have had a deliberation about the presentation just now, and you've all given us a tough time actually to judge who's the winner. That's why we took quite some time to make a decision actually. So if you have not won the prize, don't feel disappointed. You have all done very well. Nevertheless, there are some points of improvement that can be done. But before that, maybe I should say a little bit about the criteria that's been used for the judging. And this is the criteria that's been used in 3MT competition in Australia, where it started in 2008 in the University of Queensland. And it's now in New Zealand, in Canada, in Malaysia, in United Kingdom, as well as in America as well. So the 3MT has gone worldwide. And all these competitions are judged based on 3 important points. First is the communication skills. So we wanted to see how well you communicated to us, to the audience, the importance and significance of your work. And I think most of you have done this very well. Maybe some a little bit rushed, and some a little bit more animated than others, but you've done it well nevertheless. And with the technical terms clearly explained, I think most of you avoided that. I think there were not too many technical terms, so that was good. And of course, what is very important is the pace of presentation. That means one shouldn't be too rushed. And some of you have done this very well actually. Okay, I won't give any clues actually, so that you don't know what's what. The next criteria is the comprehension skill. Comprehension from the point of the audience, how much we were able to understand what you did and what you have done. So, and is there a storyline? I think one of you presented a story. That was quite good, I thought. Maybe speaker number 5. That was about polyhydroxyalkanoids. Is it or PAH? PAH, yeah. But anyway, we wanted to know what research you have done. I think some of you spend so much time on your introductions. Maybe most of your 3 minutes was about the important significance of your work. But for some of you, were wondering, what did you do then? What is your results? We didn't get that. And then finally, the engaging skills. I think most of you were engaging actually. All of you were looking at us, at the audience, so that's very good. And all of you were enthusiastic, I think. And so all of you have been very well trained actually. So we must congratulate the trainers as well. So I think that's about all I have to say, because I cannot, or maybe just a few other comments which my fellow judges have communicated to me. One is that I think the best presentation should be one that is quite natural, spontaneous when you come to the stage. You shouldn't rush in you're trying to put in so much in 3 minutes. We understand that, you know, and I understand that very well. I mean, you have done so much, but I think you should actually choose 1 or 2 ideas and put that across, not try to put in too much, so that you don't have to rush through. Okay? Easier said than done, I'm sure. You must be thinking. Okay. And then some of you, I think, just stood where you were, and you were moving your arm here and there. That's okay. I mean, the presentation was very good. But maybe you should try to walk around a little bit. But on the other hand, maybe some of you walked a bit too much. So these are the comments. This is how we felt actually. It was quite difficult for us actually to draw the line. So we had 5 judges and we had different, opinions on this, I must tell you. But I think generally we felt some of you spent too much time on the introduction. That's one thing. And the other thing, of course, command of the language is important. You must be able to command the language well. If you have an accent, it's okay, but the command of the language is important. And of course, your facial gesture. Some of you maybe didn't smile very much. You shouldn't smile too much. But you see here, it's difficult, isn't it? How much should you smile? And if you are presenting about something that is sad, maybe you shouldn't be smiling. Anyway, it's not easy. It's been tough for us actually. Maybe some of you tried too hard. But anyway, as I've said just now, all of you have been absolutely phenomenal, outstanding. And I think University Pertanian Malaysia should be very proud of you actually. You are good ambassadors of the university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Amro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Bujang Kim Huat, Dean, School of Graduate Studies, University Putra Malaysia, to accompany Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Muhammad Azmi Lila, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, University Putra Malaysia, for the certificate presentation and prize-giving ceremony. To express our gratitude to those who have helped with this 3MT competition, we now invite Dr. Joanne Yeoh for her splendid performance. Thank you. Again, I remind you to still get the CDs, yeah? Natural Heart Voice. Yang berbahagia Datin Syarina, Datin Syaukat. Miss Nabila Abdul Mubin. Chef Johari Edros, popularly known as Chef Joe. Last but not least, Miss Rosna Abdullah. Thank you again, Dr. Yo and our honorable judges, and also Yang Berbahagia Professor Muhammad Azmi.
And ladies and gentlemen, now certificate of participation to all 13 finalists of 3MT Competition 2014. And please welcome Kavita Muralidharan from Institute of Bioscience. Lai Kuan Liang, Faculty of Medicine and Health Science. Lui Ki Ho, Institute of Bioscience. Muhammad Adha P. Ramli, Institute of Bioscience. Mehzad Keshawar Zifat, Faculty of Environment Studies. Nur Shuhada Alias, Faculty of Biotechnology and Biomolecular Sciences. Nur Azira Tukiran, Halal Products Research Institute. Mr. Yusuf Abba, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. Mr. Tenko Polycarp from Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. Tan Sim Ling from Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. Mr. Ravi Shamsiri from Faculty of Engineering. Nur Hamzani Farizan, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. And last but not least, Iqbal Putut Ashidik from Faculty of Forestry.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a big round of applause for all our participants, for all the hard work they have put in. Let them wait a bit before the announcement. And now, for the moment we have been waiting for. hasn't crossed our minds that animals also suffer from stress, right? So the third prize goes to stress and brucellosis. From the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. Now, the second place goes to, now if this research works, we will all be very slender and slim. Bye-bye of this Ada Alice. And the winner of the first prize of UPM's 3-minute thesis competition 2014 goes to we never thought that we would need to save these animals for something, right? This competition is so clever. Congratulations again to all our winners. And thank you, Professor Dr. Muhammad Azmi, Muhammad Lila, and Prof. Puja. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
So thank you very much, and again, congratulations to all our winners. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the event. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Muhammad Azmi Lila, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, for attending this ceremony today.
Okay, let me remind the contestants, you need to stay back for a photography session. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll be haunted by Dr. Yu's rendition earlier on, so please do get her CDs outside. Yeah? We would also like to express our deepest appreciation to all our respected judges for lending us their expert opinions today, and to all participants for your full cooperation in making this event a successful and memorable one. Our heartfelt thanks also goes to everyone who have given their support towards making this a possibility. Thank you again to our Deputy Vice Chancellor for being here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and we hope to see you again in the 3-minute thesis competition 2015. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good day.
I think I would like to congratulate UPM for having this 3MT for the third time. I believe this is something marvelous, beautiful subject that can be taught to a student. And me, as one of the judges, I feel it's quite interesting. Even though I'm not major in that subject, as a normal commoner, I can understand what they're trying to present. Congratulations to the winner.
Thank you very much. Okay, first of all, I feel very excited, of course, and happy that I won this second prize. And I also feel grateful and blessed to Allah SWT. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank my family, my supervisors, friends who support and guide me along the way. What else? The competition is very stiff. All finalists did their very good job up here. And I think, like the judge said just now, it's very difficult to pinpoint who is the winner actually. So what I could say is that all finalists is actually the winner. That's all.
I want to first of all appreciate my family who have been very good support to me. And then I want to appreciate my supervisor because this is his idea. And I want to say a very big thank you to my coaches. They've done a lot of work. Without them, I would not have reached this level. And I appreciate the UPN for this gesture. It's interesting. That's all. Thank you.
It was a wonderful event. Actually, we went through weeks and weeks of training and finally came to the finals, and then I won the first place. I'm very grateful for all the organizers, both at the faculty level and at the SES, for this amazing opportunity. And now I'm the winner of the competition. So thank you so much. I'm highly delighted.